morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. Thank you so much for clicking on this video. If you haven't seen this face before, my name is Valerie and I'm a Ghanaian living in Ontario, Canada. On this channel, I talk about everything faith, lifestyle, and immigration. If you're a returning subscriber, thank you so much for coming back and thank you for watching my video. As the title says for this video, I'm going to discuss post-secondary education, specifically colleges and universities. This video is broken into 5 main parts. I talk about what a post-secondary education is, the differences between a college and a university, the length of programs in colleges and universities, what a designated learning institution is, and finally the cost of programs offered by both colleges and universities. Stay tuned as we learn a thing or two. A post-secondary institution is an educational institution that you get into right after your high school or secondary school education. And it could be any institution, including a college, a university, or a technical or vocational. So note that in America, most people, when they are talking about universities or colleges, interchangeably use the terms, but there are some differences between the two that I want to discuss with you today. The first difference between a college and university will be the program offerings by both institutions. Colleges would typically offer diplomas, certificates, and some associate degrees, while universities offer a wide range of programs, including bachelor's, master's, doctoral programs, and professional degrees like law and medicine. The size and structure of colleges and universities differ, such that colleges are smaller, with a smaller population generally and smaller class sizes. Universities are generally known to be larger and often divided into multiple disciplines, faculties, or schools. So for example, in a university, you would have a college of science, a college of medicine, a college of business in the institution. Typically, class sizes for universities will range anywhere from 100 students and above, while colleges would usually be smaller, sometimes even below 100. Colleges will usually not conduct major research because the focus is on teaching and skill development, while universities are often involved in research and innovation, and faculties are sometimes expected to publish the research work done by professors. Now, the length of a program in a college or a university would depend on what kind of program that is offered in both institutions. In colleges, for certificate programs, it could range anywhere between 6 months and 1 year. Diplomas will be between a year and 2 years, or sometimes even less than a year. Though sometimes rare, bachelor's degrees in colleges are usually between 3 to 4 years if they offer those degrees. Note that not all college institutions actually offer bachelor's degrees, and those that do are usually specialized or applied programs. In universities, a bachelor's degree could range anywhere between 3 to 4 years, a master's degree usually 1 to 2 years, a doctorate degree could be anywhere from 3 years to 8 years or more, and some professional degrees could be between 3 to 4 years. In summary, colleges offer shorter skill-based programs. Universities offer longer research-oriented programs. Now, what is a designated learning institution? In Canada, for any student that wishes to acquire a postgraduate work permit, has to ensure that the school that they attend is a designated learning institution. Designated learning institutions are approved to offer international students the opportunity to apply for postgraduate work permits after their studies. So you have to ensure that the school you're applying to is actually a part of the designated learning institutions. It should have a DLI number, and it should ensure that the course that you are picking is under the designated learning institution profile. If you look in my description below, there's a link that leads to Canada's website for designated learning institutions. Search by province, location, and find the school that you are looking to apply to. It should have a DLI number attached to it. If not, you are not going to be able to apply for a postgraduate work permit after school. Usually, as an international student, if you study any course between 16 months, you're eligible to a 1-year postgraduate work permit. And if you study for longer than 16 months, you're eligible to a 3-year postgraduate work permit. Some programs differ such that there are certain programs that if you study for 1 year, you are still eligible to a 3-year postgraduate work permit. You just want to be sure that your school is listed as a DLI, it has a DLI number, so you avoid any form of shock after your program when you cannot apply for a postgraduate work permit. So a postgraduate work permit is offered to students who apply after school to be able to stay in the country and work for a specific number of years before you are required to officially leave the country. One thing you have to notice that certain schools are actually listed under the DLI list, but for specific courses. So when you go into the website, ensure that the school you are choosing either is covered for every single course or is covered for the course you want to pick to study in Canada. Lastly, let's discuss the typical cost of programs for colleges and universities. Universities are generally more expensive as compared to colleges, usually based on their reputation and sometimes where they are located. For certificates or diplomas, universities hardly offer such programs, but in colleges it could cost anywhere between $3,000 to $10,000 per year. Associate degree in a college could also cost anywhere between $3,000 to $12,000 per year. Bachelor's degrees could cost $6,000 to $20,000 in colleges per year, whilst in universities it could cost from $10,000 to $30,000 plus. Master's degrees in colleges could cost anywhere between $10,000 to $30,000. While in universities, it could cost anywhere from $15,000 to about $60,000 per year. Doctoral degrees are not offered in colleges, but in universities, they could cost between $20,000 to $50,000 plus annually. And finally, professional degrees are not offered in colleges, but in universities, it could cost anywhere between $30,000 to $60,000 plus per year. Note that all these figures I mentioned are actually average estimates in Canada, and they could be higher or lower based on if your college or university is a public or private institution. And international students often pay more than domestic students. So these ones that I mentioned are domestic students' fees. Usually international students will pay double or almost 3 times what the domestic students are paying. So the key takeaway points: colleges are often less expensive as compared to universities. Universities are also more expensive based on the extensive duration of the program and availability of facilities that a college might not have. Thank you so much for staying with me to the end. I hope you learned something valuable today. Don't forget to share, comment, like, and most importantly, subscribe and turn on post notifications so every time I post a new video, you are notified and we can grow together. Bye.